is ELC's way of understanding mindfulness or meditation, a practice that every school in Bhutan engages in at least twice a day. Inspired by the wonderful neuroscientist and educator Dr. Dan Siegel, all of us at ELC brush our brains at the start and close of each school day, understanding the importance of brain hygiene, much like dental hygiene that comes from brushing our teeth. Brain brushing we have seen to be an exercise that we all need, even as adults, to help us stay in focus and embrace the moment. Parent meetings, teacher development sessions, or even an orientation with our DFC partner schools begins with a mindfulness exercise which enables us to savor the learning and be free from the innumerable distractions that overwhelm us.
QCT means long form quality class time. It is very useful since we always stay with our homeroom teacher, and it's for about 30 minutes or half an hour, and it's before the day starts. That means before we study and all.
Although we haven't really done a formal study of the impact of QCT, I think it's fairly safe to say that we've noticed greater student-teacher cooperation, and teachers who see the common sense value of this time use it to address all kinds of issues related to student behavior, so that there is also a decline in student indiscipline. My personal assessment of QCT is that it enables greater learning outcomes because of the fact that teachers and students have invested quality time in relationship building, which we are now realizing isn't something that can be taken for granted. QCT is also great in that it provides us the perfect forum for taking DFC to the micro level, that is, to every student and teacher at ELC. For instance, when we came up with our story of change this year on name calling, every class from grades 3 to 6 deliberated on the types of names that were being used, which ones were funny, which ones were hurtful, and they even took a survey on the number of people who called someone a bad name or were called a hurtful name in the recent past. I must say there was total engagement among the children because they were indulging in a discussion that was so relevant to them and which really impacted their lives on a daily basis. That's why I believe that QCT is and should be a non-negotiable time for every class because of the freedom it provides to discuss anything and everything that affects everyone at a personal level. It's quality time and you can't argue with that.
In QCT we talk about things that can help us in our class time and in our school. As in our QCTs we talk about name calling nowadays since it's our main problem in ELC, and we also using QCT sometimes to talk about how we can tackle name calling, because name calling is really a big problem not just in our school but in other schools, and not just this country, it's in our whole world except Antarctics because they cannot talk there.
QST or Quality School Time is really QCT but on a larger whole school level. It's about bringing the entire ELC community together in a spirit of sharing achievements, concerns, and learning from each other through assembly performances, student presentations, and acknowledging global days of importance. It's about building communication skills, confidence, and consolidating our understanding of key issues not necessarily associated with academic learning alone. It's a forum for engaging in democracy in action, for example, when student elections take place. It is learning in real-world context because the lesson plan at this time is not confined to a particular class or subject, but one that relates to everyone's well-being and happiness in some way or another. It happens once weekly and is almost always presided over by the principal.
ProH4, or Project Helping Hands for Health and Happiness, is ELC's citizenship program born of the notion that it's not charity but a social responsibility. Our Fridicals were created to help raise money for ProH4 while developing life skills. Through our club activities, we take learning outside of our classrooms and into the real world. We learn to play sports, cook, garden, take photographs, interview people, write news articles, learn different styles of dancing, and create tons of artwork. Clubs help us find our element, and we thrive while doing good for others.
Random acts of kindness is perfect and is free. It happens when we help a friend unexpectedly. You are in a hurry and you saw me all alone. You told me not to worry. I'll help you to find your way home. Random acts of kindness is perfect and is free. It happens when we help a friend unexpectedly.
This year, ProH4 was able to contribute the equivalent of Rs 100,000 to the reconstruction project fund of a 374-year-old dzong, or fortress, that was burnt down this summer. The whole nation came together to support the reconstruction efforts, and ELC joined in too, so that our children could understand the need to take ownership for our cultural heritage and the legacies of our past leaders of great vision and foresight. In addition, ProH4 was also able to contribute the equivalent of Rs 50,000 to the Bhutan Kidney Foundation to empathize and support the government's efforts to provide medical service for those most vulnerable. It's not charity, but a social responsibility.
You were in a hurry, you saw me all alone. You told me not to worry. I'll help you to find your way home. Random acts of kindness is perfect and is free.
YAC, or Young Ambassadors of Change, was conceived in 2011 after ELC became the country partner for Design for Change in Bhutan, with a seed fund of Nultrum 85,000 that was instantly raised by the participants of the Blue Economy Forum on June 21, 2011, following our presentation on Design for Change and other best practices. The YAC program was established in order to operationalize the higher aim of educating with a purpose by grooming our young learners to understand the meaning of good citizenship from an early age. It's about taking subject lessons from the classroom to the real world in an integrated fashion, where learning outcomes manifest into a deep-seated understanding of the true meaning and value of social responsibility. It's not only about cultivating leaders of the future, but about enabling them today to lead the way into a new future of active citizenship through empathic means.
After I had the experience of going to Ragatham, I just felt that I have everything that I need. I don't need anything else. We have everything, but they don't even have their parents with them. They don't even have enough food or the houses they live in. I just felt a lot of empathy for them.
After I learned that we shouldn't take things for granted, I learned that we should be happy with what we have.
ELC has established in just 1 year YAC partnerships with 3 rural community schools. While the BTC is going on at Ahmedabad, 13 of our YAC students will be traveling with 8 teachers and a parent representative to 2 of these schools to share with them the amazing idea of design for change and the many wonderful practices associated with it and the idea of educating for GNH. The big picture idea is that the YAC will evolve into a network of such rural-urban school partnerships throughout the length and breadth of the country in a way that our education system becomes a model for others to follow. It's about collaboration, enablement and empowerment that has at its core the simple and true intention to serve, share and facilitate each other. In other words, educating for GNH in a simple, doable way that will reap great dividends for all the stakeholders.
Yeah, the Young Ambassador of Change. It's an idea developed in ELC. It started here, and then YAC is basically about having partnerships with other schools, and then being ambassadors. And basically, we don't have to be ambassadors through election or voting or anything. We can be ambassadors by ourselves.
YAC is starting small right now, so we're going to like the rural places in our country, like the community schools, which are in all like the remote areas. So after that, I hope we go outside the country and teach the world what YAC is about and why we did it.
Every game you play, every silly face, every single place, you can build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can tear down.
And then build up means if you be kind to others and friends to people, that means you're doing build up. And if you do something bad to each other, that means it is for tearing down.
Build up one another, build up your sisters and brothers, build up one another, build up.
It's honesty works best for me, because if you lie, then you might get in trouble. I learn songs, I learn stories, I know what I have to do, I know I have what I need, but if I don't feed my greed, but then I can share my stuff, but I sure have enough. So that's why that means I can share my stuff, but I have sure enough.
Every joke you tell, every name you spell, everywhere you go, everyone you know, you can build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can tear down. Build up one another, build up your sisters and brothers, build up one another, build up. Can you build up? Can you build up? Can you build up? Can you build up? Every song you sing, every bell you ring, everything you spend, every special friend, you can build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can tear down. Build up one another, build up your sisters and brothers, build up one another, build up. I tell you now, build up one another, build up. Your sisters and brothers, build up one another, build up.
I think that we're all responsible. Students, what kind of snacks do they indulge in? Parents, do we take the easy way out? And teachers, also, how do we monitor what our children are eating in schools? And basically the general public. And I think also what the stories of change demonstrate is the idea of partnerships. And today again is really indicative of that. Schweck, Bowie, BCCI, City Corporation, and a little known school like ELC, all coming together in this forum, taking ownership of problems and finding solutions. And I think that is what really is the bigger purpose and goal of education, to make them relevant, to make it relevant.
Build up one another, build up your sisters and brothers.
Before 2010, I saw people throwing rubbish out the windows, and after that, when the DSC came, nobody used to throw it against the windows.
Comparing to when we were not in a plastic-free school, our school is much more cleaner than before.
And here I think politeness did all the work, because when we were polite, then parents started refraining from busy vehicles, and then our cause became a success.
The change we have seen is that students are being more aware of waste, and they are now carrying their waste and saying, it is my waste, I have to carry it. And they are also not bringing packaged food, and they are following the rules we have made.
Build up one another, build up.
So, where do we go from here? My feeling is that if it has been that good for us, then as you've heard our children present, nothing is of value unless it is shared. This means that the effects of design for change must permeate through to every child in our schools. Each one should be able to experience the process of feel, imagine, do and share in a way that each child is able to understand through authentic learning experiences that will make for meaningful learning outcomes. It has been said that when you teach, you learn twice. And so, if our children are to learn better, I believe that they must also teach what they know to be true and worth sharing. And therefore, as far as our vision goes, I do believe that Early Learning Center will look at taking this idea forward, first to every child and teacher in our own school, and like we did with the 9 schools here today, reach out to other schools, not only in Thimphu, but also to those outside of the capital. Seeing the way our partner schools have endeavored with such great enthusiasm, patience, and collaborative spirit, I have no doubt that they will also pitch the ideas to their neighboring schools and widen the circle of influence so that others can learn and benefit as our children have done. As we celebrate the 55th birth anniversary of a visionary king who has given much to his people and country and asks only that our youth be empowered to steer their future in the right direction, gifted as we are with an enlightened philosophy of development, we see the Design for Change contest not as an end in itself, but rather a means to realizing His Majesty the Fourth King's vision of securing our nation in the safe hands of its youth. And in so doing, may our children not only achieve self-realization, but also, as each of us does our part, may we learn and grow in compassion and humility.